Dyslexia. It's a big word, difficult word for such a learning disability. I have dyslexia. I was diagnosed with dyslexia on the age of, I think, 9 or 8. Pretty late, if I might say so myself. So, do I know what the word means in the whole sentence? But no, I don't, to be honest. But the thing I always like wondered about is who came up with that long bloody fucking word. Sorry for my language. Because if you know what dyslexia is a learning disability that is it means that you can't really read or write good. You don't spell correctly. You spell things differently. You can't read everything. And another thing what I had when I was younger, and sometimes still have, is the fact that I didn't know the difference between right or left or right, or what that was. Like, it was left right or it was right left. So that's and I later learned in life that it had something to do with my dyslexia as well. So, are you dyslexic, and do you see that same problem? The thing with the right and the left? I had that. Sometimes still do. And it has to do something with my disability, dyslexia. You didn't know that, did you? Now you know. So that's dyslexia. And then whoever came up with the idea to give dyslexia the name dyslexia wasn't really thinking, because how to spell the word dyslexia, that's like, I think nobody knows, because you have like 400 different ways to spell it. So I have a little story about that, because one time I went to the airport on my own. I went on a vacation on my own, and I needed help going to the intake desk where I needed to check in to make sure I got my flight. And the person that was getting the special help for me, because he needed to like be there 3 hours earlier than everybody else, and needed to check in at like this help desk. And the lady behind the help desk was like, "How do you spell dyslexia?" And my mouth just like dropped. I'm like, I am dyslexic. Dyslexic means that you can't spell things correctly. It's hard to spell, it's hard to read, and now you're asking me how to spell it? Funny, huh? I thought it was. Well, if it comes up there, I'm not sure if it's the right one. If you are like a professor in this or anything, and you know how to spell it, send me the way to spell it so I can put it up there if it's not right. If it's right, just let it be. So, I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was, I think, 8 or 9, I said already. And it's, people always think wrongly about the disability or the learning disability, because people always think people with dyslexia are dumb. And that's a wrong misconception, because they always say you need to understand what's on a piece of paper or in a book. If you don't understand it, you're dumb. But the thing with people with dyslexia is we know what's on the bloody piece of paper. We can't technically read it, because if somebody with dyslexia, if you like read it for them, you know, tell them what's on there, we know what's on there, you know what I mean? But technically we can't read it, but we know what the word means, how what's it used for and what sentence you use it for and which way or whatever. We know all that. And a lot of teachers out there, I don't know if you have that in America as well, but in Holland they have the bloody misconception that it has to do something with your IQ. Well, I can tell you, it has nothing. There's no way in hell it has anything to do with your IQ, because I have a laptop which I'm using right now that has a lot of programs for people with dyslexia, like causal. It's called causal. I don't know if you know it there, but it's used to it has like a speaker, a voice, and you put like a text in the program and it reads it for you. So if you're studying, you know what you're studying and you know what you read. And if you type something, if you spell it wrongly, it reads it for you, so you know if you have spelled something wrongly. So in that way you know if it's right or if it's wrong. And it has nothing to do with your IQ. Nothing at all. It's a misconception, so let's get that out of the way. Dyslexia and your IQ are two completely different things. Because I've seen it with my studying. If I have my learning things, you know, with my computer systems and stuff, I can read, or I can study perfectly. I can't read perfectly because that would be a bloody miracle if that happened. So it's not gonna happen. But if I have those stuff with me, I know that I can just study almost normally. So that's a misconception, because that's how you get your students not to want to learn anymore. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people in my life said that, well, Emma, you're dyslexic and that's not a good sign, and you're probably dumb. No, I'm serious. They really told me that probably I was not so smart as the other students. I would make something out of my life, and look where I am now. Look, I'm in college. People in high school said that I couldn't do that. So if you're out there and you have dyslexia, don't give up. You're not dumb. Don't let people define you and in what they say to you. And for teachers out there who see this video, if you have a student in your class and he or she is dyslexic, try to help them. Ask them what they need. If they need like a few hours more at school with you, or if they need, in Holland you have something that's called dyslexia. It's like almost like a contract. If you dyslexia contract, I'll just call it that because I don't know if you have that in America. And if you are diagnosed with dyslexia, there's a chance. Well, if you are really dyslexic or not. Well, I'm not sure, but I know I have one. You can go to like a person who specializes in dyslexia, and you can get like a dyslexia contract. I think it is, and it's I have one for life, and it basically says that if you have a test or if you have difficulty at school, that with that contract, people are legally they legally have to help you study, because you have the right with that piece of paper. So if I don't know if you have that in America. Do you have that in America? I don't know. But if you have that, that would be a good idea, because that would make a life for people with dyslexia a whole lot easier. Dyslexia doesn't define your IQ, doesn't define you. Because people with dyslexia, pretty smart actually, because Albert Einstein, he was dyslexic. Tom Cruise, he was dyslexic. Fonz, Fonzie from Happy Days, he had a reading disability. So a lot of people in showbiz are dyslexic. So if you're a hopeless student in high school and you're like, oh my fucking god, this is not gonna work, my life is hopeless, there's hope for you yet, my friend. There's hope for you yet. I wanted to do this video because a lot of people, they always praised to me that, oh, well, you're so brave talking about your dyslexia, and you're so good at doing this and all of that. Now, I just say one thing. I always say you have one life. You've got to grab everything you can out of life. It's your life. And you have to make sure you make something out of it. You are the pioneer of your life. It sounds cheesy, I know. But my friend, this is true. You've got one chance. Either you are supposedly normal and you don't have anything, or you have a handicap. You've got to make everything out of your life. You've got to pull and twitch and do everything you've got to make your life worthwhile. And you're worth it. You definitely are. And either you're in a wheelchair, you have a speaking disability, or you only have one leg, or you have epilepsy, or you're not artistic, but autism, or if you have autism or something, you've got to work with it, my friend. Because life only comes once. You only live once in this life, and you've got to make the best out of it. And to be honest, this is on another subject. I think people with disability, just like I am disabled, they are discriminated against. Just like people who are black. Sorry, I have to play the black card again, but I think that we don't get enough credit because people only see our disability and they don't see, the other side of me. Here on YouTube, people only see that other side of me because when I came on YouTube, nobody even knew on here that I had a disability. I think I only mentioned it like a year into being on YouTube that I had something. So it doesn't define you, and you have the right to be you. Because I think if God didn't want you here, He didn't put you on this earth. Because if you're here for a reason. If you're in a wheelchair, if you're blind, if you're deaf, you probably can't even hear me, so. But you have a right to be you. You have a right to live. And don't let anybody ever tell you any other way. Because they only talk shit. That's why I think I love all the Martin Luther King speeches, and a lot of Obama speeches have us people in them too. If you're dyslexic or you have a disability, be strong, my friend. You can make it in this world. Even though a lot of people out there are saying that you can't. You can, and you have to fight for it. You have to be strong, be hard, and fight for it. Because my friend, you are worth it. You are 100% worth it than anybody else in this world without a handicap. You have one life. You've got to make everything out of your life. That's just it. Well, it's been nice talking to you. This is M.White1, and if you want to know more about me, go to my channel, email me, write me, give me a video response back. I would like that. And well, I would love to hear from you if you have seen this video the whole way through, because it's probably a long video. So yeah, see ya. Bye. Peace out. I'm White One.